There we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your weekly moment of inner alchemy. I am Bree. I am your guide for today. Let me know who's here. Hi, and who's tuning in and where you're tuning in from. Lovely to be here with you and to connect with you and to feel you. I think we're just going to dive right in today. It's been a potent week, my friends. Potent week. So here's the drawing for today. I didn't post it ahead of time, but here it is for your eyes and your mind. You're welcome to share what you're perceiving and noticing in the comments. But this is what came through. Messages not coming through clearly. It was just like you could hear something, but it just was like you had cotton in your ears or you were underwater. It was just you couldn't, if you were trying to listen to someone on the other side with the glass to the door, it was muffled. Okay, there was just this it had like a cottony substance in between what the sound and what you were hearing. The trumpet blowing, people scattered. That's what you saw. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so messages not coming through clearly. The messages are clear, but the messages are always clear, but the interpretation and perception may not be, right? So the message is there, but you just can't hear it, or you're just whatever, sometimes your intuitive self is just not honed in properly, right? I know that with myself. When I'm not tuned in, it's like I know there's something there, but I can't quite make it out. So what do we do in those moments where there's something, you can feel something, and you just don't know what it is? I just wait. I wait until it becomes clear. It's just that's really the easiest explanation, because it will come through. The more I strain, the harder it is to hear, right? So the more I can kind of just even distract myself, I can catch myself receiving it more clearly. Okay. So the interpretation and perception may not be clear. So the message could be clear, but you could be misinterpreting what you are perceiving. That's also another aspect of this. So what would the message say if you received it without interpreting it? What would the message say if you received it without interpreting it? You're so quick to define, you're so uncomfortable with the space, right? We really have this tendency to want to categorize, to define, to group together things. We just do this naturally, right? And it gives us a sense of comfort, a sense of control, a sense of the known, right? So there's this really suspended place in the I'm going to say intuitive realm. I'm not sure if that's the right word I want right now. Love whatever is happening now. Listen with your heart. Yes, that is a beautiful example of where to drop into to receive without interpretation, to not define it. What if we were just to see, the image that's coming to mind is someone is walking towards you, okay? And you can't quite make out who it is, right? They're still a little bit far off in the distance. So what happens? You have all these thoughts going on through your head. Who is that? Who could it be? Oh, it could be this person. It could be this person. They're tall like this person, right? We're trying to figure it out. We do it so quickly that we don't catch ourselves doing it. What if we were just to witness this person walking towards us without trying to figure out who it is until they arrived? So why don't we play with that for a moment? Because I think that will help you connect with the feeling of what it is like to receive without prejudice, without judgment, without defining something until it's right here and you can tell without a doubt what it is. And even then, how can you receive that without judgment? I will give you an example that's coming up. When I was teaching many, many moons ago, there was a student who was known to, all of the teachers as a troublemaker, right? We label them, we define them as something. So when they go from class to class and you've heard about this student being labeled as such, what do you think your expectation of this child would be? You probably would have an assumption that he would misbehave or she would misbehave in your class as well. So I have a tendency not to do that, which made it very useful for me as an acupuncturist. Because when you come into my office, I'm seeing you for where you are now and not for where you were a week ago or 2 weeks ago. What are you presenting with now? So this is just something I do naturally, and I think it's a good skill to cultivate. And so when this child was in my classroom, this child was an angel. This child never misbehaved for me because I allowed myself to have my own experience of this person without being influenced by what all the other teachers were saying. Okay. And no assumptions. Yes. And so he really blossomed in my class. And I had a really beautiful connection with his mother at one point around that. Okay. So there's this space that we create when we allow ourselves to interact with what it is in a new way without our preconditioning, without our imprinting, without our programming, right? So allow the space to define itself and the mind is soothed. Let me read through these again. Okay, so here's the image, and then we'll go into that little journey so you can feel the feeling of what I'm trying to convey. Okay. So the message is not coming through clearly. The messages are clear. The messages are always clear. The interpretation and perception may not be. What would the message say if you received it without interpreting it? So quick to define, so uncomfortable with the space. Allow the space to define itself. The mind is soothed. The mind is soothed. So let's just play with this for a moment, okay? Because this is something that I actually do every day, and it's been really helpful for me, is I take time throughout the day to look around as if I had no idea what I'm looking at, that it's new for me. Zen mind, beginner mind, okay? I'm not defining it. I'm just taking it in. I'm taking it in. And when I do that, it's like I open up the aperture of my awareness and my senses to receive more information. Because what happens is when I begin to define it, I collapse it down into what I think it should be rather than what it is. So when I have this assumption of what I think it should be, it's going to meet that expectation. Now, where that is useful is when you are assuming what you desire to be. If there is something that you want to create for yourself, then we use that to our advantage and we assume that to already be true. Okay, so just pay attention to how you are using your power of assumption. Are you using it to collapse things down to keep you in a particular state that is not where you want to be? Or are you using the power of assumption to assume what you desire to already be true? And you're bringing that into being by assuming that you already have it. Okay, so there's two different ways that we're using this same kind of law. Okay, the same function of the universal mind. Okay, so let's practice with removing the assumption so we can see how that feels, and then we can assume something that we desire and see how that feels. So we get to play with creation in this way. Who wants to come in here? I think you do. Okay, so wherever you are right now, just close your eyes and we'll connect with the breath. We'll just bring the breath in and out through the center of the heart space, the center of your heart space. We breathe in and out through the center of your heart space. There you go. Inhaling through the center of the heart. And allowing the exhale to be slightly longer than the inhale. through the heart, through that same space in the center of your heart field, the field of your heart. There you go. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of things shifting in you just as you're doing this. So just notice your body's response as you begin to self-regulate and come into coherence. Just allow those sensations to be there. Again, we're not defining them, we're just witnessing them, we're noticing them, and we continue to breathe. There you go. Whoever did that, just notice that, because you just got in the driver's seat. Now it's you getting in the driver's seat. There you go. Notice how the body feels and continue to breathe in and out through the center of the heart. You directing your awareness to your breath in this way keeps you in the driver's seat. Beautiful. Now we've got some nice movement happening and circulation of your vitality, which I like to see. Okay, now from this place, with your mind's eye, keeping your eyes closed, continue to breathe. There's a path in front of you, and down this path you can see a figure, like just, you can make out a person, but you don't know who it is. Okay, and it might be someone you know, and it might be someone you don't know, but you notice what happens when you see that figure. Are you trying to figure out who it is? Or are you trying to seek more clearly? Are you trying to bring that person into focus? Are you trying to receive information? Okay. So just see this figure out in the distance facing you, but this figure is still very blurry because they're so far away. You don't know who this is. And notice how your body's responding to you not knowing. Okay? It's trying to figure it out. Notice how that feels when you're trying to figure it out, when you're trying to make sense, your senses, make sense of something. There you go. Just notice the feeling. This is all about you just noticing your body's response to things. Beautiful. Now see if you can have that person stand at that distance and feel comfortable with them there, with you not knowing. For me, for a long time, I really felt like I had to know. I don't feel that way anymore. It's a much more liberating place to be. I'm okay with not knowing because I trust that I'll know when I need to know. So just see how comfortable you can be not knowing who that is and what comes up in your body as you're, facing this person who you don't know. Okay. And notice the thoughts that might come up. Maybe the fear. I feel like a pulling away. Like, am I safe or am I not safe, right? Okay, beautiful. And now just allow this person to start walking towards you. And notice how your body's picking up on this information of this person. And, they're coming towards you slowly. They're still not into focus yet, but you can feel them. You can feel them more. You can feel them more. So you're just feeling them approaching you. And notice how your body's receiving this information from them. Okay, this is what we're doing all the time. We're just not aware of it. We're doing this all the time, no matter what environment we're in. We're picking up on the ambiance of the environment, the people, the things, the place, the energy of the place all the time. We're slowing it down now so you can perceive what's going on in your body. And you can use this to your advantage when you begin to cultivate this skill. Okay, beautiful. Now allow them to come even closer where you can begin to make out their face. Now, is this somebody that you know or is this someone that you don't know? Your mind placed them there. So just notice if it's someone you know or someone you don't know. Okay? And if it is someone you know, notice how your body responds to that knowing. Notice what happens. And if it's someone you don't know, notice your body's response to that. Do they feel familiar in any way if you don't know them? Maybe there's someone from another lifetime. Okay? There you go. Beautiful. And then allow them to come even more closely so they're completely in focus and you're standing face to face. And feel them there. Feel their presence, maybe just a few feet in front of you where you feel comfortable and you can see them. How is your body responding to that? Now that it's known. Okay, there's a lot more stability I'm tracking with you. Nicely done. Okay, now we're going to do this again. Let me see how I see it coming in, but let me figure out how I'm going to describe it to you. We're going to do this with the thing you want to create. Okay, something you currently don't believe you have. It's not in your physical reality, but it's something you desire. Okay, so bring that to mind. Okay, and that thing that you desire is down that same road. It's like a hazy orb. It's out of focus. It doesn't have any definition yet because it's not in your world. Okay. We're going to do the same thing now. Allow that orb of information, which represents this thing that you desire, and as it comes closer and closer to you, it becomes more clear. It becomes more defined. Okay, so allow that shape to move closer to you, and as it does, it's like looking through binoculars and you're finding the focus as you're looking through the binoculars. That image is going to come into sharpness, into focus when that orb gets close enough, and you're going to see the thing you desire in front of you as if you were seeing that person in front of you. There's no difference here. There you go. You can even use the image of the binoculars if that would help. Okay, you want to get that blurry image of the thing you desire into focus and notice what happens. There you go. Yep. Yep. Just kind of fine tune it. There you go. And as soon as it becomes into focus, then allow that image, that scene to come towards you so it's right in front of you, like just a few feet. And you are now in that scene. Okay, you are able to walk around it. If it's a place, you're able to interact with it. Okay, it's real and it's there. You've just created that assumption and you defined it for yourself, and now it's here and now it's real. Start exploring that. Walk around it, interact with it, engage with it, touch it, see how it feels. If it's a home, walk around, feel the countertops, feel the front door. What kind of foliage do you have? How does the key sound in your pocket? Okay, start interacting with this scene that you've defined for yourself and made manifest and real in your mind. You've now assumed it to be true. You've brought it into definition. There you go. Take your time here. So we're using our same innate ability here to just interact with information in different ways. So we can use it to meet something familiar in a new way, or we can use it to create something we desire. You're already doing it. You're allowing the space now of what you desire to define itself. There you go. Enjoy yourself here. And do this for yourself several times a day. The optimal times to be doing this is before you fall asleep and first thing in the morning when you wake up, when the subconscious mind is really at its most surface area. And you can connect with it a lot more easily. Okay, so the more that you interact with this in this way, interacting with it, touching it, smelling it, tasting it, feeling it, then your body begins to believe it. Okay, you begin to vibrate as if that were already true. Your assumption is true. And that vibration is going to manifest that into reality. It's going to attract that into being. It's going to make that space, the unknown, into known, bring the invisible into visible. And it happens through you. It happens through this process that we're doing together. Assume that it's true. Assume you already have it. And interact with it. See yourself engaged in that. When you have something that you currently have right now, how are you interacting with that? How do you feel about that? Okay, the same feeling that you have when you're interacting with this desire of the mind that you are assuming is already true. You have it now. There you go. If it's a car, you get in the car. You know, how hot is the handle when you go to open the door? How hot is the seat if it's hot outside? What does the car smell like when you get into it? Okay, see yourself adjusting the seat of the car. Okay, where are you going? Are you parked in a garage? Are you parked in a carport? Are you parked in a driveway? Okay, allow yourself to receive the details from this space, the space of your desired reality. There you go. Beautiful. Doesn't take long. Now notice how your body feels. It feels like it. Does it feel like it did when you recognize that person? Does it have that same feeling, that same knowing? Okay. And do this every day until it becomes second nature, and watch what happens. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. Okay? So practice two things. Practice defining this and interacting with this desired state, assuming you already have it. Okay, the law of assumption. And also spend time each day opening the aperture of your awareness, taking in the world around you without defining it. Okay, so define the dream, but create space for the dream you're already in. Okay, it creates this beautiful kind of fluidity and malleability to your creative self. Nothing is as it seems, and you begin to shift your awareness, and you have more leverage with your creative power. So I would love to hear from you. How was this little experience? What did you notice? You're welcome to share your thoughts in the comments or in the chat below. And if you're watching on the replay, let me know, #replay, and I would love to hear your experience of your assumptions. Are they keeping you stuck, or are they helping you grow and create that which you desire? I wish you the best, my dear ones. Thank you for coming together with me to harmonize the nature of oneself. Share with me your experiences. I'd love to hear this and hear from you. And I will see you again next Tuesday, same time, same place, for your weekly moment of inner alchemy. Blessings, my friends, blessings.